What's up, guys? We are back with another Mythic Legions review, jumping back into reinforcements. Now, I had that reveal slash review for the Gold Knight 2, but we're jumping into the rest of those figures, and I'm going to start with the one that I was most excited about, not just because it's one I really needed, but because it's the one that you guys didn't know about. So we're going to take a look first out of this batch at the Silverhorn Sentry. So this is a reissue from an older figure, a one that has almost gotten into All-Stars. So it's been one that fans have been looking forward to. And of course, like I said, one that I actually needed. I don't have this guy. So I'm pretty excited to not pay triple digits for this particular figure and stock up on a few of them. So we've got him here, of course, in our standard Mythic Legion style packaging. Figures in the window. He's got his bio on one spine. You've got his faction symbol on the other. And then the back of this package has our new backer card artwork with the cross sell that I wasn't allowed to show you last time that showcases every figure in this wave. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go. Out of the package, our Mythic Legions reinforcements. Silverhorn Sentry. Again, this is the one true reissue in this wave compared to some of the version 2s and then the new figures that we got. So for folks like myself who, for whatever reason, didn't buy this guy the first time around, or if you just weren't around during that wave years and years ago, you now have your opportunity, and I've really been looking forward to this one. I'm glad that he is back out. I'm glad it's the original version and not a version 2, because I just like the way this looks. This is a very classic mix of parts for Legions. Like, we've seen this so many times when it comes to the overall base body. He does have some weirdness about him when it comes to a few parts, because this is not just a normal man. He's hoofed, but there are a lot of classic Legions parts here. So let's see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. He is a 1.0 figure, so you pretty much know what to expect. Head's going to look up really good. It looks down pretty good. You got your tilt, you got rotation, all that good stuff. Arms are going to go out at the shoulders. Of course, when you get the pauldrons on him, things are going to change a little bit, but this is how he moves in general. Swivel at the shoulder. You've got your hinged elbow there, single joint with rotation. You've got gauntlet swivel. You've got wrist swivel and hinge as usual. 1.0 figure, so he's got that single piece for the torso. He's going to go backwards a little bit. He's going to go forwards a bit. You've got some tilt side to side, and you've got your rotation there, of course, as well. Legs are going to go out pretty much all the way. They kick forward all the way as well. Backwards, you've got a thigh twist up there. We've got our single jointed swiveling knee, gives you basically 90 degrees there. And then you've got swivel at the top of the ankle. You've got hinges, and you've got rocker. His feet are hooves, obviously, so they have a little bit less range in some respects than others, but they're still pretty comparable to most normal feet as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you've messed with a 1.0 Legions figure, certainly one of the, let's say, older style figures, you know exactly what you're getting into here. Now, what I really like about this figure in particular, and I mean, this is no surprise if you watch my Legion stuff, you know what I focus on most is the visuals. I know what to expect when it comes to articulation. You know, if you've messed with these figures long enough, there are no surprises until we get some of that new articulation coming. But this guy is a mix of very familiar parts with a very specific and unique, in many ways, color scheme. He is a little bit different because, of course, you know, he's one of the few figures that have these antlers for the helmet. He's one of the few figures that do have hooves, especially for a figure that looks like a normal human, and then he ends up having hooves. So he's a little bit of a different type of character, type of thing, or whatever he is underneath that armor. And I just really like the color combination here, but it's also these parts, because while I don't necessarily want to use the word nostalgic, there is some nostalgia for me in these older style figures. And this guy, while he wasn't in that first initial push, he wasn't from the original Kickstarter, he came a little bit later, he still uses that same initial batch of parts. So you have the classic knight look, but you have the Gorgo helmet, which I've said a million times is probably still my favorite helmet in the entire line. I absolutely love it. But I really love this color scheme, and what I really like about it is just how unique it is by virtue of just these colors. So, like, here's the Gold Knight. And, you know, the Gold Knight is a legitimate Legion builder, so he is only just one color, basically. But these are almost all the same parts. A few little changes here. Head's different, feet are different, the loin piece is a little bit different, but otherwise, it's the same kind of stuff. But you can see just what this paint scheme does to bring out all of that detail. There's so much that is almost hidden when it's one solid color. And while I love this guy, you know, and I'm really happy to have this, it's always nice to be able to see all of that sculpted detail get brought out a little better by all of this paint. So he's got this sort of chocolatey, metallic
base coat for his armor. You've got this like mint green. I feel like I'm talking about a candy bar right now. You've got this mint green and then like a little bit of a gold inlay, gold on the rivets and everything. And it just looks terrific. It's really bright and vibrant while at the same time being kind of deep, if that makes any sense. Because it's got this sort of metallic sheen over everything. So he does shine and sparkle a little bit. And the sort of like regal nature of these guys, because these aren't just everyday army builders. These guys have a little bit more prominence in their faction. So he looks like he has maybe a little bit more gaudy armor as well. And I love the fact that he does, you know, stand out a little bit. Because this is an army builder, but he's not a Legion builder in name. So he's not one of the quote-unquote cheaper figures. He's a regular figure that just happens to also be an army builder. And, you know, I love this mix of parts. I think he looks fantastic. The paint and sculpt is, of course, everything you expect from this line. But I love the little things that are different about him. I like the colors, of course. I love the hooves just by virtue of him being different. He's going to go, and he's supposed to go, with Faunus. You know, I'm really happy to be able to get more of these guys because I'm certainly bringing home more of these from Legions Con since we only could get one right now. And I really think the hooves make him stand out and look a little bit different. And then, of course, he does have, again, one of my favorite, if not my favorite helmets in the entire line. The Gorgo helmet is pretty much unchallenged for me. And this color scheme, the mint, the chocolatey look up there, and then he's got this sort of battered antlers as well, which again make him slightly different, a little bit more unique, because these weren't overly used and still haven't been. They pop up from time to time, but they look really good on this. They fit the color scheme, they fit the theming, and again, he's going to look really cool next to Faunus since he's supposed to go with them, or they're supposed to go with him, and he'll kind of mesh in with the sort of antler look and the hooves and all that stuff to make sort of a little grouping. And I think this is just a really cool figure, and one that I am personally happy to not have to pay $200 for. Now, as far as accessories goes, our Silverhorn Sentry has a pretty standard array of options here. Again, this is an older figure, so you kind of have to expect you're going to get maybe less varied types of accessories. It does have a couple cool things, though. To start with, we do get a different head sculpt, and this is kind of a weird one because this is, typically speaking anyway, this is a Dwarven head sculpt, which is most often what it's used for. So it's a little bit odd for this particular figure, but at the same time, I do think it looks pretty cool. It's that Dwarven helmeted, bearded sort of head sculpt, and it's pretty neat, especially in this color scheme. I like the way they've integrated that gold and the green into those plates on what would be, you know, the quote-unquote beard. And they also can utilize the antlers. Now, there aren't extra helmet attachments in here. You just get one set of antlers, so you can swap them between the two head sculpts. We do, of course, get our pauldrons, and these are some of the standard knight-style pauldrons, so stuff, you know, we've seen for ages and ages now, but done up in the Sentry's color scheme. And then we do get a few accessories, again, kind of a normal pack out for, we'll say, older figures. To start with, we do get the spear, which is something that we've seen a million times over, but we don't really see this stuff too often anymore. So I don't know, this might be new to some folks. So it's gold handle, silver blade. We get the standard sword, or one of the standard swords anyway, so gold handle, silver blade. Super metallic across the board on all of this. And then we get the wooden shield, so it's gold with the wood, and you've got silver accents, and it's got the handle. No clip, just because it's an old shield. We still get the current style for shields there. And then, of course, you get your ever-present strap. If you were hurting for back adapters, this is not the figure for you because he doesn't come with any of those. But he does have a pretty solid array of accessories. There's still a decent amount of stuff here. Standard accessories as far as weapons goes, but we do get a pretty cool alternate head sculpt that is utilized in a relatively unorthodox way for what we've seen so far with Legions. So yeah, overall, really happy with this guy. I mean, just being able to get him again is a big part of it, right? Just being able to pay normal price for a figure that I've wanted for a few years because for whatever reason I didn't buy him when he was new, and not having to pay between $150 and $200 some odd dollars, because I was never going to do that. I was never going to go backwards to that degree on just an army builder type figure. But I'm certainly going to take advantage of the ability to get more of these figures now that they've made him available. Because he looks great, he moves well, he's got good accessories, and there's a lot of use that can be had out of these parts, or just getting a few of these to make your little squad with Faunus or the Xylernian guards. There's a lot of possibilities in terms of what you can actually do, how you can utilize this figure when it comes to army building him. So I'm really happy with him. I'm very happy that they put him back out, and I'm certainly going to get more. And like I said, I'm definitely bringing home some from Legions Con. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mythic Legions Reinforcements 2 Silverhorn Sentry. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.